Going hard and then you meet some of these people, over there and you're just like, oh my goodness. It's time for the bass to stand out. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
Finally, we were time, man.
I listen to you guys and I fucking love what you guys are doing. Straight up. Like, I saw you guys at Chain Reaction. I'm like, oh my God. Whenever I need music gear, I always go to sweetwater.com. If it's mics, headphones, or studio and recording gear, Sweetwater has you covered. Next time you need any music gear, support the podcast by using the link in the description and comment section below. Salute, dude.
yes, sir.
The Garza podcast.
We are
Yes,
here
sir.
live as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, today we have almost a full band of Slay Squad.
Yes.
Shout out Cheese.
Shout out Queso. There's cheese in my wallet.
Gotta get the bag though.
Shout out to your the DJ. Yeah, great dude. Thank you for last minute coming through, Gordo. Thank you.
Of course.
Because I was like, can we do a full band podcast? I don't know. I got really nervous about it, but then once the one with Alpha Wolf went so well, and the conversation flow was so like flowing, and I was like, okay, it's actually doable. So
Yeah.
So thank you guys for all coming through. I'm honored, man.
Likewise.
Yeah, man.
We're honored, man. We appreciate it.
I have no idea.
Real
She
shit.
was telling you outside, but like serious full circle shit for us, especially coming from like the IE and like the SoCal deathcore scene. Like,
Yeah.
serious business being up in here for us.
Wow. Well, it goes. Yeah. I mean, I listen to you guys, and I fucking love what you guys are doing. Straight up. Like, I saw you guys at Chain Reaction. I'm like, oh my God. And I was standing with the legendary label guy, Mike Gitter, and we were just watching you guys. And I was like, and in my head, I'm like, that's how you do it. That's how it's done. Like, someone I found out later, I think it was a friend of yours that got like knocked out.
Yeah, it was actually my girl's stepdad.
Oh, are you serious?
And then so
Oh, my goodness.
that's like a whole other crazy situation.
Wow.
But like in a nutshell, my girl's stepdad came to the show,
Yeah.
and it kind of sucked because imagine like your girl's family's just like, yeah, we'll go to your little boyfriend's show or whatever.
Yeah.
And they bring everybody out, the aunts, everybody.
Yes.
And then I told this nigga.
Oh my.
I said, bruh, just come on stage. Like, you could just post on the side. And he wanted to, he's like, no, I want to be right here. You know, he's passionate. He loves metal. He goes to metal shows. He grew up in the scene. And he ended up getting knocked, which was scary. How it looked was scary at the show. But I feel like everybody handled it well. Like, shout out to the people that come to our shows. I feel like they always handle those situations really well. They compliment how we handle it as well. And they ended up getting married about probably like 2 weeks after that show, and I was with him, and he was okay. He was in good spirits. He was clowning about it. Like, he was more just like, damn, I got hit. Like, you know, he kind of had that more attitude about it. He was really cool. He was making jokes about it, so it was good.
Yeah, we were like concerned because it was like I haven't seen something like that since like, you know, back in our day where like someone gets hit, the house lights go on, and the show fucking it stops.
We see that almost every time we play.
I'm not gonna lie, like, we just had this last show where it just
This weekend.
fucked.
Yeah, it was like
This
3
weekend?
shows
Oh
back
my
to back, and each one
And
was
it's
like,
the same
God
song.
damn.
It's specifically the same song.
Open
one?
one, bro.
Open one.
So we had San Diego, LA, and Rialto. The
Yeah.
San Diego one, during that song, the squabble happens, and then it turns into like a 20-person brawl that spills out to the outside and shit. Crazy as hell. And then we play LA. Shit gets turned up. You think it's about to be a fight, but then like Allison and some dude, it's like they ended up, I think they might have left together by the end of the night. Honestly.
They
It was
start like
Dry humping in the pit.
they start
Oh my God.
hustling, and then I'm thinking, when Allison is our sister, shout out Allison. She goes to all our shows. we'll even do shows out of state, and she won't say shit. Just she's
Pop
there
up.
though.
Like Queen of the Pit for real. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like she goes
of the
crazy,
pit,
and
facts.
she's tussling with this dude. But then it starts off tussling, and my first instinct is like, okay, motherfucker, fucking with our sister type shit. But then they just start. She's
Like
in
grinding.
his arms,
He
and now
lift
they're
her up,
grinding. And then we're just like,
It
okay,
turned into
well,
like a
bet.
freak dance party. Like,
It got freaky.
Ghetto.
And then the show in Rialto, someone got hit pretty big. It
Low-key
looked
the same
exactly,
thing, like
looked
the chain
exactly
reaction
like
one.
chain reaction.
Knocked,
He got hit,
one of those
eyes
situations
rolled
where
back.
you're more worried about how you hit your head on the ground as
Yeah.
opposed to how you got knocked. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh wow.
He got hit, and then he was good though. He was a good sport about it. But it's like as like wild as we are, like we also are. We are very concerned for people's safety. Like we
Yes.
don't give a fuck, but bro, we give a fuck.
yeah, 100.
Like we don't
Yeah.
like back in the day. Maybe I remember back in the day, like someone got hurt or whatever, you know. But once you seasoned in this shit, you're like, bro, I don't want fucking nobody to get hurt, bro. Like it's like
Yeah.
we're not little kids anymore. It's like,
Yeah, like
you want
everybody should
everybody
get-
safe.
have a good
Yeah.
release. You feel
Yeah.
me? But like not have
Totally.
to fucking like deal with this show for the next 6 to 8 weeks. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
So we're definitely big on like, bro, you knock someone down, pick them up. Someone gets hurt, you know, give them space. All that. Like we're big on that for sure.
Yeah, like you want to get out there, vibe, have a great time, get little violent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
but-
a little
but,
violent.
But,
some of
you
that.
just don't want,
Yeah, we come from fucking like the IE and SoCal hardcore and shit, so we're not gonna be like, you know, everybody, you know,
Hug
don't
each
touch
other.
each other. You know, what I mean?
We've thought
Like,
about
but-
that though. Because the lyric that gets everybody fucked up is because we have a breakdown, and right before we're like, punch somebody in the fucking face.
I'll do it.
And
happens.
Every single time
They
at
do it.
that part is when it goes down. And then we'll
my
always make
gosh.
jokes like maybe we need to say everybody hug each other right now or some bullshit like that.
Holy shit, dude, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
It was just because we had the whole band here. Can you guys give a quick like introduction to who you are and what you do in a Slave Squad, just so people watching, listening,
Yeah, I'll start. Tim Ryan, I'm the drummer.
at a boy.
Yeah.
Little beatdown influence with some metal in it, some hip hop.
Gordo, the guitarist, band manager. No, I'm just the guitarist.
Threw it in there, dude. Okay, that's cool.
All right, stick, play bass, design the shirt.
Yeah.
That's
There
it.
it is. Cap.
This dude. Brahim Goose. I do a little bit of everything, videos. I am also vocalist and yeah. Do a little bit of everything.
Sick.
Kilo Key, the motherfucking young guy, aka the despicable one, aka the one you hate the most hated, you know what I'm talking about? Being this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Keeping this shit true, keeping this shit period, you know what I'm saying? Representing the 111, keeping that shit first and foremost.
Squad.
It's our big homie initially, so gotta always, you know what I mean, make sure we pay homage. Shout out to everybody who listen to this and, you know, feel like they listen to themselves. I am you, I'm your reflection, I'm your mirror. You dig?
Holy shit. So where are you guys originally from?
Our town.
Rialto.
Rialto.
I said Arto. Yeah, Rialto. Our town, the IE, is where we
Reaper
originally from. That's like what raised us. That's also what influenced our sound as well.
That's where we
The
all met.
diversity.
Yes.
Is where we all met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our stomping grounds. Like for real.
Wow, so you guys just had like a home show.
Yeah.
Wow.
That last show, the little 3-pack was like right there at home. We haven't been back home since maybe the last bowl show.
Yeah.
Which was middle of last year.
BLM.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Literally.
We just got demonetized right there. So might as well let's keep it going. Okay. Not cool. Wow. Yeah, so I assume the show went well. Since when did it start where like, okay, like the lights are coming on pretty much every show? Like when did that start for you guys?
It's crazy because we've been through multiple flows, so multiple stages. So we've had
Yes.
times where the lights are coming on, and you're like, man, the lights is on, and that motherfucker flick right back off. Like, I feel like we've done this shit at least maybe 3 times in our career where we were purely rap,
Yes.
or if you take it fully back, we're purely hardcore, and then the lights were on. Part of those lights being on was you saying we're the shit.
Oh wow.
A long ass time ago.
Damn.
That's us going, the lights are on, and then it gets dim. Then we go into, I'll just kind of timeline it quickly, but it's like we start going into just rap. We're kind of getting a buzz, but then the lights get dim again. Then it's kind of more hardcore. Lights get bright. We're doing a lot of observatory stuff. Then pandemic hits, relationships change. Then we start combining, and now we're here, Once we combine everything that we've experienced and gone through over, how many years? Probably
7, 8 years.
Yeah, 7, 8 years. That's what's getting us into the position now. But we've gone through that phase multiple times. And that, it's hard to say. It's like 3 different years. And I'm bad with years. I'm sure one of you guys could bring up the years of like when.
Yeah, it would be like high school would be like when we all like initially like met and came together, be in a band together and shit in the SoCal hardcore scene, going to like Showcase, RMC, Nitty Gritty, like all these places that kind of like help build like that foundation for us. And of course, still, we black, being black families, we live in a place like Rialto, which is special because you're able to have all elements simultaneously. No one telling you can't do nothing, and also like open opportunities to do whatever you got your mind set to want to do. So it kind of like made it for me personally, a situation where everything that I'm seeking in my personal life, or being in a band or going to the shows or shit like that, is able to be fully like flourish, while at the same time sharing a room with my older brother, being around my family, and still being on the pulse of the culture and staying in tune with all elements of these other different types of music that like stay prominent in our minds the whole time, that kind of like help build a foundation at the same time that makes something like this possible organically, not something we ever really had to try to do, more so something that's just natural to us because of the people that surround us during these growth times. So that's like the childhood type shit. And then as we kind of like became 18, 19, 20 as adults, that's kind of the same time that the scene around us died down. So it became like less opportunities to be playing shows as the band that we was, less places for the scene in general to be able to flourish, while also everybody's kind of like exploring. This is like 2009, 10, 11. So this is also like a natural time where hip hop is kind of not like researching, but becoming the most popular thing again.
It became open. That's like when like Odd Future came out,
ASAP,
all that, where it was like not just like if you're into rap, you have to wear baggy clothes and sell drugs. It's like you could skateboard, you could be this, you could be that. It's always been like that in Rialto. Like Rialto's a place where it's like there's the skaters, there's the cholos, there's like the hood niggas. Like
you never
There's
know.
rich and
You
You'll
can't
see,
judge
like-
somebody by their cover.
you'll
by
see some dude
anything.
with like plugs and has a gun on you, and like he'll be like, "What the fuck is metal? Like this is just like,
Oh wow! He just got,
It's just-
but and he got a metal shirt on. Though.
Yeah, wearing a
It's
fucking-
just
and
the
they'll
world is like
rob you and
this shit's
skateboard away.
bad.
Yeah, like
It's really like that for real where we from. So that's why like that type of foundation was able to be also natural when we got more into just like freestyling with each other or trying to get into the local rap scene, you know what I mean, going to do shows over there. But then that also became like you said, like a time when the lights became dim again, because it's like this shit weird. We don't really like vibe with these motherfuckers like that. We got to do our thing again. So that's when we came up with the idea like fuck it, like let's just pull the band out, and like it was like a Halloween show, and we was like fuck it, let's just pull the band out and like do some breakdown shit at the end of like this song or whatever to kind of freak everybody out. And fucking it did what it
niggas
did.
was like, keep doing it.
You
Like,
feel me?
what was that? Like,
Yeah,
what
it like
was
really
that,
hit shock
you know?
like type business, and
Literally.
it really made like an impact on our like whole at the time career, in the rap shit. Like what the fuck, like kind of like one of those things like you always get at the like just as you're growing and shit, like just be yourself. You know what I mean? Just do the shit you want to do. Fuck what you feel like you're supposed to do or what you may think you have to do to kind of like mesh with a certain pocket of people. Like fuck the bullshit. Always be yourself. Always do what you feel like doing, and that's just what we felt like doing at the time, and it worked. So we just kind of like over the next following years kind of just learned that over time and shit. Like at first it kind of became like we'll pull the band out every once in a while if the show calls for it, if we feel like it'll be a smart thing. But there's been some of our biggest shows we didn't even have any band. We just kind of like
Just pure rap.
but just naturally is on the other end, because we come from those like hardcore metal foundations, our rap music still induce that same energy, that same mosh feel, that same like high intense feeling. So that's why it still gave the same effect, but we didn't have to have the whole band in it. And then we just like over that, like you said, with the pandemic, like 2018, 19, 20, like it really leaned more into like a hybridization, like where it's like a simultaneous type thing. We're trying to keep all the flavors and all the things that we can do kind of like more like together as opposed to like one and then the other. Because I remember the first years of us doing this shit, we were like adding band shit at the end of a rap song that already existed. You know what I mean? Kind of like meshing them like that on the ends. But then like we kind of try to like make it more braided as time like progressed. I remember
there was like a gold rush, like to add on what you're saying. I was like, there was a gold rush moment when the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. In all aspects.
Shout out to SBA. Shout out to PPP.
Let's just keep it a beam. There was a gold rush, like there was a modern day digital gold rush, similar to the California gold rush. That there was opportunity, and really, it's crazy because when you look at it now, at the time, you're thinking like, I got to do all this shit. All you had to do was drop in the pandemic. That's all you had to do. Everybody was not dropping. Everybody was going, we're fucked, and just keeping back.
Freaking out.
So really, the last time the lights got bright, and they've been bright ever since, was pandemic. While everybody was chilling, doing their thing, we just decided to drop. And I can't even say it was like, we dropped 20 videos. No, we just really dropped one video. And it just, that's really what got it. We dropped Mongo. Produced with Morgoth. Shout out Morgoth. And that, like, made it, the lights really bright. And then ever since then, it's just been consistent. So then we do Mongo. And then we end up on this TV show, No Cover.
How was that?
That was interesting.
Interesting?
Good. Glad that we did it, though. Good.
Random.
It was random. Because it's a process to be on that show. Like, apparently, other people, like, they paid for this application to be on. Oh, shit. And they had to get reviewed. And they were already in the middle of filming. And Morgoth, shout out Morgoth again, it's like, he showed them us. They showed them Mongo, and they said, fuck it. Get them here right now. So we got a call just saying like, hey, be here tomorrow, do this.
Really? Yeah, we almost didn't do it.
And and honestly, like, yeah, just to be honest, like on some TV show shit, I'm thinking like off rip, I'm like, this shit corny. Like, I'm just keeping a bean. I'm like a TV show, like we're competing.
We thinking American Idol and X Factor, like, bro, this ain't the way we trying to do it.
Yeah, we're like, we don't.
First time playing live.
Yeah.
His first time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I had just learned bass like 3 weeks before the show.
Oh my goodness!
On some on some just like intuitive shit. Like thankfully, like that shit lined up at that time because we was kind of like in limbo with a bunch of different situations, just trying to figure out that aspect of it. Not really having no shows or nothing where we needed to have it like for a live presence or anything like that, but just, fucking 3 weeks after he had stepped up and made it like, yo, I'll get the equipment. He didn't play no fucking instruments or nothing.
Yeah, and that's just crazy because Stick, like the thing about Stick, like he's been around us since the jump. Like he's always been around us. But the thing is, like he would do designs, he would do Photoshop stuff, he would just do really anything that needs to be done. And then again, it's all about mindset, right? Like you could look at him and you go, when you understand him, you're like, if you just apply what you do to the design, you're going to be great because he really could pick up anything. And I mean, he could fucking really anything. It doesn't really matter. Anything that he puts his mind to, he could get it done. So at a certain point, instead of looking for like the basis that you're like, who's the best bassist? You go, who's the most determined and willing to invest in themselves and cares about it. I don't give a fuck how good you are. I care how much you care about it.
Where's your initiative at? Like,
yeah,
how your mind gonna be thinking?
Right, and the initiative that he puts in is not just into this, but also in himself, in the brand. Like it's like before we had Stick, it was just like, basically I'm saying like we're adding somebody that also puts in that initiative also into his own shit and his own personality and who he is. So adding that to something like this, it's only an addition. And then we already know you're dependable because when we hit you to do some design shit, we got it. When we hit you to update something on the website or do this, you got it. So just do that with your bass.
Yeah, even just as a homie, just on some normal shit, like you just know, you can tell by the way somebody carry themselves and like how they respond when you call them. It's like, okay, this is one of the main homies that you memorize their number for if you get arrested or you get locked up.
Oh, his number's only 2 numbers.
It's like, for real, it's an easy number. It's one of them ones like, okay, for sure, like if you faded, if your mind's somewhere else, you stressed out about some shit, like you know that motherfucker not only gonna pick up, but it's that number you remember. You feel me? Like,
also to add on to that, like how we were talking about, like when we really started braiding the genres during pandemic, that's like before it was like, okay, you could play bass or like sometimes Brahim will hop on drums or whatever we needed to do to like have that breakdown element at the end of each song. But during pandemic, we're like, let's actually really fuse this. We need somebody who's really gonna like play the bass. Yeah. And that's like where Stick stepped up. And also too, during that time, that's when we were realizing we have to have the sound better and like kind of let our hands off of it. That's also when Morgoth came into the picture, where we came across him through watching Finn with like punk rock. Yeah. I saw him.
Shout out to Ben McKenty.
Yeah, he was interviewing Morgoth. I saw that. I've always been a fan of Winds of Plague, and then I saw how he was doing like the beats for rappers and stuff like that, and instantly I thought this guy gets it, like as far as the death metal and metal, and hit him up, see if he wanted to help us out with Mongo. We did that, and instantly, like, he loved it, and then he just started telling everybody about us.
Yeah. Honestly, Morgoth has gone crazy. Like, so many people are like, Morgoth was telling me about you guys. Like, it's like
extremely instrumental on the podcast.
We hear that so much. So
like, that's how the no cover thing came up. Like, so many things came up because it's like, and that was part of it. Like, we knew, like, him hearing our style, hopefully he would like it. And it led to like so much more things because he literally just spread it like wildfire. Like,
he really did. He did.
He loves you guys.
Didn't even have to. Yeah, he didn't even have to either. Like that's the type of shit. Like it's not like nobody asked for nothing. It's not like he said he was like, I'm gonna do this type of shit. He just taking the initiative because he really fucked with what we was doing.
Because he was on the show too. You know what I mean? Yeah, like a lot of motherfuckers like I'm not gonna hit them to be on the show. I'm on the show. I want to win.
That's how people would be.
That's how a lot of people think. He just was like, nah, these guys are hard. You know, and. In a nutshell, because I feel like we're answering your question so long.
I'm not forgetting the initial question.
Well, he was talking about how was the show. In a nutshell, now we're realizing like, oh shit. But in a nutshell, that show was interesting. It was crazy performing. Imagine performing, and the bassist has never performed a show. At the same time, you get in there. There's no audience, which we feed off that. We're fire. I will always say our live performance is really when you understand us. Like if you've never seen us live, you have a semi-grasp, but you will never fully understand us until you pull the fuck up on us. 1,000. If you don't pull up on us, you ain't gonna fully get us. That's when you go, okay, I get it. That seems to be when we're like the most even in tune. So that show was interesting in itself. And then imagine like Alice Cooper is the judge.
We didn't know shit about nothing. We didn't know who was hosting or what the situation was going to be, to what. We didn't see none of the other bands. Like we saw them as people outside, but we didn't get to like watch each other's performances or nothing like that. So we just like went in there one by one and like fucking we just did our shit, and they gave their responses, gave their reactions to it. Very interesting how that played out. I'm on Fader, so I ain't gonna get too descriptive, you know what I'm saying? But like that was a very interesting situation, the way the panel was lined up and the responses we got from each of them hosts or panelists or judges or whatever you want to call them.
Overall, it was cooler than we anticipated.
Hell yeah. That shit, that was definitely.
Yeah, we didn't regret doing it by it.
Yeah, even to this day, like we go on tour and then people are like, oh, I saw your No Cover and I came out to the show.
They're only there from that. They're like, I'm only here because we seen you guys on No Cover. Like we heard that on tour a lot of the time.
We heard that at some of these shows.
Yeah, these past shows this weekend.
We seen you on
people from our own city in Rialto. Like, oh shit, like I saw you guys on No Cover. I had to pull up. Like,
Damn.
Right.
In your hometown.
Yeah, literally.
That is so bizarre, huh?
You're right.
That is crazy.
But we were like in Kansas, and there was people like
They got
said
the
they
tattoo.
they drove from like 3 hours to see us because they
like,
saw us on the show. This dude
on the
had
show.
our logo tattooed on his
Fresh.
neck.
Like even like Arizona. Like,
Yeah,
What,
but
that
still,
morning
it's
it's all
still
red?
healing and yeah, it's all like it's fresh. Like
squad.
Yeah, no cover definitely like shout out to them motherfuckers. Like, shout out to
For
them
real.
covers.
Real shit.
That's cool.
Because
That shit
they
was-
definitely help give like a little seed plant, you know, for the because it was our first big tour recently and shit, you know what I'm saying, on that, and so that definitely as we went to these places we ain't never been, we ain't never seen, I don't know, no motherfucker in Kansas or none of this shit like that.
Memphis,
And-
like,
You
what?
just
Yeah.
watching Kansas and Memphis and New York.
Right.
Holy fuck, dude.
What?
Right,
Florida.
like random at Minnesota, all these crazy ass
Fuck
places I ain't
yeah,
never even
dude.
thought about going and shit, you know what I mean? But like it's kind of like planted the seed and made it even a little
Us to be able to go
something
there.
for us to step on,
Yeah.
you know, while we got there. It was cool.
They helped us out a lot.
They came early and shit because
And
we
they dropped
opened
the
up,
week
you know what I
before
mean?
we went on tour.
Talk about going full circle. Like even when they dropped that, like they dropped it
filmed it a
right
year
before
ago.
we filmed that a while ago, and it dropped right before we went on tour, and it was just like perfect. Like it wasn't our call to drop it like that. It just so happened to be dropping when we were going on tour, so it just like.
And Beam dropped at the same time.
It wasn't a song, but it was the episodes of No Cover.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. We shot them a year ago. We shot
And
them last
they
year.
had even started a little bit before that. The episode that we happened to be on was like that same time, that same like week soon as we started tour.
Timing.
And we dropped
so
our
crazy.
biggest drop, our most favorable like mesh of the just it was a very powerful track. Being we dropped that literally that same week too, without thinking or knowing that it was going to be lined up like that. Because you know you gotta give time for like DSPs and like you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's like we just kind of like, oh, we'll drop it on this date, and then like we learned in between that timing like, oh shit, No Cover's going to be dropping our episode this same week,
And
and
we're
we
going on
start the
tour.
tour that same in that week. So it's like
Wow.
this the divine timing for sure. Like you kind of wait for that like Nipsey said it best, like how long to opportunity meet preparation. Like, and we've been preparing for fucking shit since birth, it feel like.
Oh my God. Well, since you guys brought up, I want to talk about the song Beam. You come out saying the first verse.
Yeah.
What are you saying there?
Oh, yeah.
What did I
About
say?
that.
I was like,
Ever since I was a young
a
nigga.
young nigga, conceited. If I ran into my pop's killer, I'd beam him.
Oh, that story.
And yeah, like just in a nutshell, like, because I don't want to go all crazy but in a nutshell, in a timeline, what happened to me was basically in 1 week. This is a 1 week span. I get a message from. Like I'm a twin, so I've been raised with just my mom and my brother. Shout out Brahim. And I get a text, a DM in Instagram with a picture of a guy who ultimately I found out was my dad. He says, "Do you know who this is?" And this was my little brother. He's like, "I'm your little brother. This is your dad." I never, like, how I was raised in my household, like, it wasn't like, oh, my dad was, like, I just never talked about dad. That was not said in my household, like, just straight up. Like, it was never a conversation. Me and my brother never were like, where's our dad? Like, it just was so normal that it never even
Crossed your mind.
crossed our mind. And then I get that DM saying, do you know who this is? And I'm like, no. And then my little brother, he says, this is your dad. And he's like, he's trying to contact you. Let's say this was on a Tuesday. I don't remember the exact day, but this was on a Tuesday. He said, Dad's going to call you. He's in Haiti. My dad, he did construction in Haiti. He built houses. And then let's say that's Tuesday. Friday, I get a message and he says, your dad got shot. And this is so random because when this happened, I was probably, I'm so bad with years, but let's say I was 16, 17, maybe even 18. I'm so bad with years. But going that long without hearing anything about a dad or anything like that, and then someone saying, your dad's gonna contact you, and me and my brother are different. Now I'm all getting all personal. We're very different. Like my brother he technically been the dad of the house. Like I'm the evil twin. You know what I mean? So I get that text saying, I get the call saying that my dad passed, and it just was like, what I just
so
did,
lit.
where I just paused and just being like, wait, what? Like you get a random call, you're 16, you went 16 years without anything, then you get a call on a Tuesday saying, this is your dad, he's gonna call you this week. And then Friday, you get a call saying he got shot. And it impacted me differently, of course, because I never knew him. But why I bring up the differences between me and my brother is because I always did yearn for that. I feel like there is a difference between how my brother felt about it and how I felt about it. And I did yearn for that. Like I dig into stuff, whether it's gear, history, cases, politics, everything. I like to dig into things. So my whole life, even though I didn't say anything to my mom about it, it was always in my head. And to even kind of go back a little bit, when my brother contacted me, I remember going to my mom and saying, I just walk in the room. My mom is super businessy. So I walk in the room and I say, my brother contacted me. He said, Dad is going to call me this week, which this is the first time me and my mom have ever had a convo about this since I've been born. And she's just quiet. Like when I say it, it's a quiet ass room. When I say it, I'm just like, yeah, Dad's gonna be calling me. I got in contact with my little brother. I have a little brother. And then she's just like, it's just quiet, awkward. I walk out the room. Then my mom calls me in the room like, I'm so sorry, you know, that I reacted like that. I am just in complete shock that you said that. But I think this is good for you. I could tell, because at the time I was just on some bullshit. I was just fucking up. I really wasn't that focused. Then that same thing, I go back in the room that Friday and say, Dad got shot. He's dead. And pretty much the same thing happened. It was just like, you know, so in a nutshell, basically that experience shaped me a lot. And I love to put just, like, I'm not the best at explaining how I feel unless it's on some music shit. When I'm recording music, I feel like if you're really listening, that's where you could really understand me. Conversation, I'm working on that, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the best at that, but when it comes to the music, that's when I give myself, and that's how that ultimately ended up there. Like, it was something that I always wanted to talk about, and I originally had that hook on another beat, but then once we started creating Beam, literally right before I left to the studio, I'm talking about like probably an hour before I was leaving to the studio, I had a whole other verse. And then I'm playing the beat, you know, before I go to the studio to kind of get a feel for it. And then I start rapping that, and then my girl looks over at me and goes, you got to say that, you know? And yeah, just some real shit, you know?
Yeah, you know, especially when you're talking about music, like when you hear something and then you're driving down and then that part is just replaying in your eardrum and you're driving. It was the intro to that song. I'm like, and then when you're singing that line and then when Kilo comes in, there's just something about that that's just buried in my brain forever. So I was just curious, like what you meant by that. I'm like, because if I'm, you know, I'm older and jaded. If I'm thinking about a part, like I wonder what that deep level is. You know,
it's deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And then Kilo comes in and adds like, I'm like, and you know, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, it's like a guy in a band, like an artist. I'm like, what are they doing? This is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, the best art is gonna reflect real life shit. So like that tends to be the foundation for like most of our creation.
And that's why that song was a mixture of just like a lot of emotions. Wanting to get back. That's what that song is about. You know, I want to fuck that dude up. That did it.
Yeah, the second part of that shit is more. It's harder for me, in my opinion. It's like that shit hard. Like
you know.
They went to jail before I got some kind of fight out of his gang. Like, ooh, Like, man, like that type of shit is like, that type of shit make me want to ride the Haiti with my nigga and like, nigga, let's go handle business, nigga. Like,
Yeah.
Facts. Like,
You know?
facts.
Yeah.
for real, for real.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's why I appreciate hardcore, because you could really lay it out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do much moshing these days, but it's like that release, like a lot of people that don't understand hardcore, they're like, why are you guys doing that? It's like, well, they're releasing. So those lyrics specifically, being able to release that and just give that real shit, that's just how I feel. It is what it is. It's like, fuck that nigga. Like, real shit.
Facts.
It's like, that's how I felt. And being able to release it made me feel better. And just to spit that real shit. And that's why that song will forever be special. Yeah.
It's a very special part.
Yeah.
I don't hear it, but I definitely feel it. It's like work, and that's something special you guys are doing with your music, where like you don't have a choice but to like it. It's just like it awakens something deep inside of you, and that's what's tripping out about you guys the most.
It's like the whole premise of our music is like not like a lot of rappers try to do the rock thing. Like, this will be cool. Like, I used to listen to Korn when I was younger, or like a lot of like rock. Like, oh, I like Lil Wayne. I'll rap on this rock song. But it's like, we're really putting ourselves into this music. Like, everybody always says like, oh, it's so authentic, and it's like, that's the only way we could. That's the only thing we know.
Yeah.
It's like really, really, really us and how we grew up.
yeah,
and
if we had to
everything.
try too hard to do anything, we wouldn't be doing it. You
Like,
feel
it's
me?
not
this
like-
type of shit is like organically created by just experiencing and living. Like, I wouldn't be able to do one half of it properly without being able to like release and reflect on the other end as well. Like, it's like all these elements, all these sounds, all these ways of expressing ourselves and shit. I wouldn't be able to get my point across only screaming. You feel me? Like, it's definitely like ways of creation that we've learned throughout the years and shit. And I think it all deserves to be like represented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No gimmick at all. It's just what we feel.
Just for real shit.
You guys will be surprised how many bands don't do that, and it's special when everyone puts their own layer of emotion, and that's how we have your own sound.
Yeah.
You know, you guys
shit.
everyone puts their own thing, and you guys have 6 layers, which is more than most bands, and it's heavy, dude, heavy in both ways, which is why maybe I gravitate to you guys so much. Where like it's not just doesn't sound heavy, but it is heavy.
Yeah.
You know, it's you. Like, you put out what you can't put into normal conversations. You just put on the music, and people just they start fucking punching each other in the face when you start playing. You know,
That's
it's
what I
just
mean
like-
when I said earlier, like, without even pulling out the band, our rap music solo gave that same feeling and that same effect, because it's some real shit. It's reflecting, and it's like expressing that same type of energy, regardless of what type of beat we on or what type of instrumental is behind it and shit. You about to feel me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real shit.
For sure.
And you guys have 2 sides of it too.
Yeah.
It's like once like first of all, you have very unique song titles.
Yeah.
And I was very nervous to say the word manga, because I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I was like, I'm just gonna say it, and thank God someone said it before me. So thank you. I was like, okay, manga, I had it right. And the other song, Sashin.
Sashin.
Okay, that intro as well. I'm like, that's when manga. It was like the first song I put on. I'm in the gym today. I'm like listening. I'm like, okay, it's like you took the 2 styles, you put it together in one song.
Yeah.
And then you fine-tuned it on I feel on this song, where like you have like you stepped up on like as far as like the audio quality, where okay, this is like okay, now they're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got my attention.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah,
Mongo quality is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's why I was saying you can see the
That's
growth
cool.
in our connections and just like ways of being able to like mix and master, and just like people that can like handle the music and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's been like a journey, low key, I would say, since we was kids.
To
Like,
this day,
Yeah.
like we're still like I always say, like we're scientists mixing potions and like figuring out the workflow. Like
Yeah.
we, even right now to this day, I wouldn't say like we just have this, like we go to this and then we go there. It's like we still figuring this shit out, especially
Yeah.
the level that we plan on taking this and that we're gonna take this. It takes that, and most importantly, it deserves that. Like, we don't just find one person, we're just like, okay, yeah, this is the way that we're doing it. It's like we really, that care, we want that handled also with care. Our level of care, we want that handled with care. It's very important to us. And yeah, like we're still figuring it out. Like at the end of the day,
cool.
it's like people are still, well, okay, well, what's next? Like it's like we're figuring it out.
Like we true alchemists with this shit for real. We still mixing potions, we still mixing elements, we still discovering and experiencing and living and feeling this way through like this hybridization. That's my favorite word for it, because of course, you know what I mean, we all grew up on like Linkin Park and shit like that, and like the hybrid theory is like serious business. And as I become more aware of like the earlier stages and shit, I don't know if it's like a new thing or what, but like this is my first time like this year seeing like they archive footage and shit of their origins and shit like that, and I'm like, oh shit, like I get it, you know what I'm saying? And it makes sense like how they shit ended up being and how they ended up becoming and shit. It's fire. And for it, like it made more sense for it to be like my true foundation, like for sure. Because that Hybrid Theory album was my first shit ever buying, ever purchasing as a kid and shit. I was like 8, 9 years old, like serious, like. Because again, like up until that point, and even still throughout my adulthood, I mean childhood and adulthood, adolescence, whatever you want to call it, my brother, my family has such a heavy influence as far as the things I'm listening to while I'm at home, because I'm sharing a room with him. So he's my older brother by like 4 years and shit. So he big dog in the whole radio situation. So we listen, but I appreciate that shit now, because it's like we listen to Dipset, we listen to the Kanye early mixtapes, Con, Louis Vuitton Don, like being like keeping my finger on the pulse of the culture, also with a bunch of old school shit like Michael Jackson and El DeBarge and Switch and all that shit like that. Like it really kept all that shit flowing like through my like cerebral, even when I didn't want it to, while at the same time I'm discovering fucking like my path went like Linkin Park, and then it went to like diving into like Korn and like fucking System of a Down and shit like that throughout those same years. And then I came across Headbangers Ball, and that introduced me to like Cannibal Corpse. That was also my first time seeing From First to Last and Under Oath and shit like that. And Cannibal Corpse low key bridged me into Impending Doom, ironically. And it was like, okay, like because as a black, being in a black family and shit, as they see me going into like all these different types of music, they're just trying to make sure I ain't getting on no devilish shit or no like too crazy ass shit. So trying to avoid that, or at least seemingly avoid that, was like a plus to me. So when I came across like the Christian shit and like that whole scene, like it was like dope to me to be able to show it off or be able to play it like, oh, you think this is some crazy shit, but this is they talking about, you know, praise and shit, or like going to church and shit. So it kind of like gave me that allowance and shit. Like you can't tell me shit with Impending Doom, like on that type of level. And then just that kind of like led me into like different bands within our local scene. Because at that same time, I was about like going from 8th grade to 9th grade and shit, finding out about Rialto backyard shows and the RMC and Showcase and the Nitty Gritty and all these local places and like heavier music and shit. The culture of moshing. My first years of going to Warped Tour to see all these bands I'm discovering on Headbangers Ball or MySpace and shit. Those whole years of development, and you guys, you know what I mean? Like you guys were close behind my first years of, or my first times discovering Impending Doom, because this was all like throughout months. I'm saying years, but it was like fucking weeks, months. Like I'm getting all this shit back to back through fucking LimeWire. Shout out to LimeWire. I see them trying to make that resurgence through the NFT. Shout out to them motherfuckers, like, because they really had a huge like say so in the culture and what she was listening to.
How else would you get that shit? Like it was like LimeWire was everything.
For real.
Shit.
So
that was like Hybrid Theory
with fucking getting them fucking them Bill Clinton samples and shit behind it and shit, and then discovering y'all first shit with like the fucking Family Guy samples and like
the
shit
Family
like that.
Guy samples. Your drummer wearing the mask. I was at
God.
like some of you guys' first shows. Wow. I was at Impending Doom's first ever show. I used to go to see Winds of Plague when they were playing in backyards. Like that whole IE shit. Like we were really a part of that. Like,
super staple in the SoCal hardcore.
First show I ever went to was a Winds of Plague show.
You probably don't even remember this, but we were in separate bands. I'm a little bit older. I had a band called Graven Images. They had their band called When Only Darkness Remains. You would sometimes pull up to our shows, and we would like fan the fuck out. Like, what the fuck? Like, the guitarist from Suicide Silence is here. And to add on to what you were saying, like with Seishin is a Japanese word for spirit. And I remember...
I know that.
Do you?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. It's a Japanese word for spirit. These two came up with that title, but I remember writing the guitar for that. I was in Japan at the time, and like I didn't have my guitar, of course, so like I did like a voice note of me like humming the breakdown, and it was really inspired like by you guys. Like the ending is the beginning. That song, like that song inspired Seishin, and Yeah, so being here again, like how we've been talking about, like super full circle. Like you're a big inspiration on like everything like we're doing.
It must be so wild for your guys' band to be. It happens quick too. Like you're listening to the music, and then now you're actually in these circles.
Yeah. It's crazy because even the tour with Born of Osiris, like we
and
went
Vela
to
Maya,
Vela Maya,
I used to go to their shows when we were kids.
Like, and then it's not like when we're going on these tours, like it's like they're over there and we're over here. No, bro, Born of Osiris is literally like they literally show so much love
like
and so much
great.
appreciation
Cool.
and just like they like fuck with us so much. Mark.
Shout out Mark.
Mark
Shout out
shows
Mark,
so
bro.
much
Fucking
love, bro. It's like, bro, we literally love those dudes, and it's like not even on a level of just like, oh, we played with them, but it's like
We grew up
Every
on
step
you.
of that tour, it felt familial and hospitable, and like they didn't make it feel weird. Because especially like meshing, being in the rap scene, being in the different scenes and shit, like my mind definitely goes to expecting the worst from people. Like I just be expecting people to be weird, especially when you get on some like hierarchy or like they've been doing this shit since like fucking 07 type shit. So
Forever.
it's like nigga, like I'm thinking like high window open for them to be on that type of time and we being on our type of time. But man, from fucking I want to say like the second, like fucking like the first stop was like interesting, like they show love, we show love, it was cool. But like when I say that second stop was like we partying, let's get it in.
like come to the,
like that made it the whole tour
in,
fire.
like you guys could do whatever y'all want. Like we
Come in
fuck
the
with
bus.
y'all.
It wasn't
we're
weird. It didn't
chilling.
seem forced. It didn't seem like agenda based. It didn't seem like they didn't have no fucking reason or no. They didn't have nothing to gain from being cool with us and shit. And they really just showed love. And it wasn't like it didn't seem weird or nothing. And as the tour kept progressing, you just saw that love and that type of like energy become more organic, more natural, more like like we know what it is. Like it's like real recognize real across like many forefront as we have these nights where we connect and we have these conversations and shit. Like it's like it become real and it definitely like made it like, oh, sick. Like I want to see like how everybody else's energy is. Meeting y'all at Chain and shit, and like even like having the interactions that we're having right now and shit is definitely like I don't know the feeling to call it, but it's definitely like sick. It's definitely sick to what it could be. You know what I mean? Because it could be weird. It could be fucking. It could be some other shit. You know what I'm saying? But to like be a human, to try to keep it real, to try to keep it on a pure basis, and come across people who are also seeking the same outcome from just living in this world. That shit's fire as fuck. And I definitely got that feeling from them. Got that feeling from y'all. Got that feeling from Morgoth. Like anytime we come across these types of energies and shit, we definitely like take them shit seriously, and we take them like we hold them close to us and shit, because it's like it's rare. It could definitely go the other way more times than not.
And something like I think like the outside wouldn't understand. Like it's been years and it's been so gradual. It's not like I'm listening to you as like a teen in my room and stuff, and the next thing I know I'm on the podcast. Like this has been like almost 10 years in the making, and like that growing into like what we're doing right now. Like it's still fucking amazing, but it's like it feels so natural and like good. Like we're more like prepared and ready for these type of, like it makes sense now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's even more special about that, you guys got here by being yourselves. And
Switch.
I won't name names, but there's a lot of bands that are successful that we even tour with that there's something missing.
That authenticity or whatever.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's should be common practice or common sense, but the music lasts. I mean, it's the best when you're just being authentic. It sounds silly, but it's so true,
That's
man.
facts. Like that's something
it's
that
like it's elementary almost.
Yeah, it's like it's elementary, but it's those things like when you see people win a Grammy and they're like, just be yourself, and when you watching it and you're not in it, you're like, okay, that was corny. But then like when you're in it and you really understand what they're saying, you're like, dude, he just gave you the real code. Like for real, on some
don't
real
exhaust
shit.
yourself trying to do some other shit that you think that you're like thinking about doing.
That's
like,
just
bands
art
do that.
though. Like art in self. Like a lot of people like, what would people like? What would this? What would that? But like, if you
Algorithms and
put
shit.
yourself into art, you won't even like. You can't imagine that there's billions of people in the world and so many people will relate to how you feel, because like nobody's ever like alone. So like whatever you're going through, if you put that out and like you're vocal about it, whether it's traumatic or super happy or whatever it is, like there's millions of people who will relate to it. So as long as you're authentic and put that out, whether through music, like you're gonna find like a core base of fans that are like, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all. I think we all kind of have like a collective consciousness and shit, and like the way that we are connected as like a species and shit. There's been a bunch of like scientific experiments that kind of like prove like, without being able to see it or talk about it or even be around motherfuckers, like we all kind of have a connective like mental processing in the ways that we view things and the ways that we experience things. Even just being from Rialto and shit like that, we ain't the only motherfuckers that's experiencing multiple genres and experiencing multiple ways of life at the same time. We all living in the same space. We going to the same school, going to the same skate park, going to the same stores, going to the same clubs or whatever the fuck you want to call it out there. Like it's like you get these like experiences at the same time. So art being my favorite art being a true reflection of real life. This is that, you know what I mean? Like it ain't no piece of it. This is all of it at the same time. And shit, we might end up shitting out a whole different sound, you know what I mean? As life progresses and as time progresses and as our experiences progress and as the world around us adjusts, shit. You know what I mean?
Like our original fan base, like even the Rialto show, I remember looking around and I'm like, this is different fans than when we started.
Yeah.
Like, period. It's just not the same people. Like, we don't even recognize the people. A lot of the people that would pull up originally, there's the new versions of those people, you know, and that's been, again, that's why I was saying, like, it's been, like, at least minimum 3 of, like
little eras, little sagas, little dynasties.
Different
sagas,
groups, different sagas where you're like, bro, who is this dude? But he's fired up. And it's like, that's the new, I remember when it was, back in the day, it was this, you know, and, Slay Squad has been through a lot of different phases. We've had a lot of different people in this shit too. There was a point where there was like 5 rappers in Slay Squad.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we've been through a phase where
Yeah,
I was drumming. I was the drummer.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
When
But
we
at
was
the end
a
of the
band in
day,
high
we're like
school and shit, I
still
was the
family.
vocalist,
Like
yeah.
we're still all homies. Like
And it's
homies
still-
only type shit.
Wow.
Shout out 111.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's what the Running 11 represents and shit, like as like an entire collective, not just Slay. It's like all the homies, all the other people who do things creatively, all the other people who are progressive and just exist simultaneously amongst all of us, because we all, that's our real foundations. Aside from creation and what we trying to do on our career-based type level, like us being homies and us being family and us existing like shoulder to shoulder with one another and being there for each other and shit. That's the real foundations of this shit. That's what Slay Squad even was before making music. It was just squad.
Like a family.
We were in the homie Garrett's garage. And we'd just be in there. We were called Slay Squad even before any music.
Like I'm pretty sure I could speak for anybody in this room, but like if it was to the point where it's like, oh, we need a guitarist or oh, we need a drummer for the show, and it's like not some like 111 family, like
Then
I'm not doing it. Like,
We don't care.
I don't
who
care.
you are.
I
It's
don't
more
care who you
damaging
are,
than
how good
beneficial
you
to do
are.
that.
It's like I just want to do shit with my family. Like, and if it's not that, then it's like
It's not
I'll go
the-
find something else to do.
Exactly.
Like it's literally that. Like that goes back to him being on bass. Like if it was like we need to find a good bassist, and it was like some random dude from some random city who could
Sick.
play like a 20-string
Like, I
bass.
don't
Like I don't
know.
give a fuck.
I don't even feel like
We
taking
don't
the time
care.
to figure you out, my nigga. This is my brother. I already know this nigga. I've slept on this nigga's couch. This is my family. I ain't got to question this nigga's authenticity or his work ethic or fucking how he's about to view this shit. He understand and has seen from jump what the fuck this shit is to us and
So
how
you
much energy has been
understand.
put into it, so you know not to play with it. So shit, nigga, like it's a reciprocation of like, oh, this is not gonna be a questionable thing, and like it's proved itself to be fruitful like throughout fucking the whole every step of the way, even shit within the last 24 hours. You feel me? This shit just keeps developing. Like how we talk,
Yeah, like
it doesn't
in
happen
current
without that
time.
initiative. You don't give a fuck about your bass tone or how this shit is protruding throughout the rest of the mix without taking that type of initiative we explained earlier. You know what I mean? Without taking that work ethic and that mindset towards what you're doing. How are you being represented? Is anybody feeling you when this track gets played? If it's not happening, I can't imagine him being cool with that. You feel me?
Yeah, losing sleep over that shit. I know I'm not
He was
crazy.
like a big relief. It was a big relief when we did that. Yeah, that was dope.
Wow. You guys are very in tune as a band. And you're definitely you're not desperate, which is also very rare. You guys don't have to talk about this. You don't. But
We'll talk about it.
But you know, obviously I'm in the outside looking in, having a great time. I'm talking to, you know, Mike Gooder, and I was in Vegas recently and Morgoth when I was hanging with Morgoth, and went to play that show in Vegas. We were in an alleyway just talking about you guys for 30 minutes. I was like, shit, I gotta go, man. But and it was just really cool to hear what you guys got going on, and there's a lot of interest, I guess I could say, and to which is. We are very similar in that way. Where our band, we did the same thing. Like there's interest here and there, but there's something about when you're yourself, you're not desperate. There's just something about it.
We don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like on some real shit. Like we're all in house. Like on some real shit. Like we print our own merch, we edit our own videos, direct our own videos,
photos,
make our own everything. No one comes at us with concepts and this and that. Like, bro, we do we do exactly what we want to do. And on some real shit, like, we're getting money. We're fine. Like, so we're not even at the point of, like, we're not like we're struggling. Like, we just need this deal.
Gotta
like,
make it out this mud.
No, we're already out the mud. We did that shit on our own.
Yeah, we grown ass men. We had to do that to survive, to be able to keep making this shit to this day without establishing what he just explained. I can't imagine how the fuck we'd be able to do something like this extracurricular, or like, you know what I mean, on some like at the same time as survive and have to keep a roof over our head, food in our stomachs, food on our loved ones' stomachs.
This is the bonus right now. Like, this is like the real bonus.
Cherry on top. Like we are purely in house. So when you come at us, like any people that are listening that are like interested in coming at us with some shit, come at us with some shit that's gonna really fucking change our lives. Other than that, we give no fucks. We know how to we can make bands. For real, real shit. We know how to make bands.
We true toe babies.
We know how to make bands. So the little shit is kind of like, I mean, we're nice. So we're gonna, cool. But if we're talking about real shit, you want us to really like put the pen to the contract, come correct. Real shit. Because we really believe in ourselves. Like, I believe in us. Like, I think we could do. I'm crazy. I'm a little crazier than most. I think we could do this shit with nobody. Real shit. That's really how I feel.
We will do this shit.
Look at what most I'm saying. I'm like, look at what most people lean on a label for, or like depend on a label for. You can't come with us with the little video shit. Nope. My nigga got it.
And you're not overcharging. Like,
you're not coming up with the production shit, or like create on the creative end. It's we don't need no help on that end.
We just organized all those shows.
The work ethic. We got a whole squad. We got an army. We got a motherfucking army of motherfucking family. Yeah. Not an army of soldiers or constituents or whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is family motherfuckers who I've been top to bottom with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like really actual shit where it's like, nigga, I could depend on my people. I could depend on my actual foundations, and we ain't never strayed away from that. So like, that has to be understood 100%. We got the manpower to do all the funny business.
Right.
We do come with us. Hit us with something that's gonna change
like,
what we
we can't like, we can't do that.
Come to me with an offer I can't refuse.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shit that there's very few shit we're gonna say we can't do. You know what I mean? It's like that
list is small.
It's small. Like, we really, and we could be fucking wrong. I'm just telling you how our mindset.
How we feel. And like, everybody in this room, everybody in 111, at this point in our lives, we've known each other longer than we haven't.
Yeah.
Like, I've known this dude for like more than half my life.
Yeah.
So like, there's no way in hell, no matter what I got going on or what he got going on, we would let each other like sink.
Yeah.
Like, we're all good. Like,
we've worked jobs. Like, we have mentors. We have people that are actually in this making M's. So
we've gone through some
when
shit.
you come at us with some shit, you're not talking to, like, it's not even just us, like, as confident as we are with just us. When you come at us with some fucking weird ass shit, we call motherfuckers that.
We got references.
We got people that we could call that they're gonna be like, that's funny business.
Nah, because it's like that. It's really like that. Like, in the black community, when you got people doing what we doing, and you got people trying to infiltrate what we infiltrating, bruh, it has to be like that. I can't imagine how any type of young black man is gonna be able to function without insight from the elders who have been able to squeeze their way through that. Like, we live in 2022, I get it, but we still within the same century of some of the bullshit that we trying to get away from. So it's like, it's still remnants, it's still actualization of like bullshit that we gotta maneuver our way through.
We're not like the desperate SoundCloud artists. Like, I hear a lot of, because I work with a lot of different artists, and it's like we're not like the artists that's like we just need a deal and we're out of here. Like we're out of here.
We actually,
Like,
And that's been a product of time. Like,
yeah, a deal could hurt us. I
a
even
deal
say
would actually
this,
hurt
like
us.
I say this all the time, like going back to like we don't care like how good you are at something. We care how much you care, how much effort you put into something.
as
like,
much as we care.
Like I don't give a fuck who you are, bro. You could be. I'm gonna be careful. I won't say any names, but bro, you could be the biggest artist right now. You ain't 111. I don't give a fuck. You not on our shit, bro. You could be Kanye West. We ain't putting you on 111. Don't matter. I don't care. We don't care about that. How much you care about this shit is like always the like first and foremost.
The way
to
our
us.
lives are right now is like already has surpassed our childhood dreams.
Yeah.
So it's like everything else that's coming along with the music we're making, like he said earlier, is like the cherry on top. And like we're still going for it, but it's like we're good, and I think that's also adds on to what makes us special. Like,
But shit, someone offer us something good, then let's rock.
right. It got to really make sense, not the pretend
like
version.
some of us still work normal jobs. Like, you know what I mean? We're not living crazy, but also our dreams and aspirations, and like aren't necessarily, though we look up to a lot of people in this genre, we don't look at their life and go, we want that. Like we actually look up to like, we want to be this rap / hardcore, but like the emphasis is like, look how we're saying rap. Like you get bigger deals, you just get a little bit more. I feel like I love the hardcore energy, but I feel like what's lacking is how they take care of the hardcore artists. And this is a huge fucking thing because how they take care of hardcore artists sometimes, like you'll pull up on the legends and you're like, oh, like you're living normal. Like this is a normal,
low-key, yeah.
You're living a normal life.
Yeah.
And that is fucking fire, but we do have like bigger aspirations. Thank God for the legends. So we're able to look and learn and go, okay, I want to do that, but not fully. Like we want to pull up to the fucking Glass House hardcore show, but we just pulled up in Lambos, in big ass chains and all that. We want
only rappers could do that. But
We
like
want to
bands
wild
don't
the
do
fuck
that.
out. Yeah. We're going up. Like we're trying to wow the fuck out. This is not. This is not just like we're cool. We were able to get a crib and do our thing. Like I'm talking about like we're really trying to go up because the other stuff we feel like we're capable to do that on our own. So
and not even to have it like money based or anything like that, but like
it's not.
It's also the impact we could have on so many people. Like we're not just here like, oh, we just want a bunch of money. Like we know our value because we could impact so many kids like us, like how I was talking about earlier, like with art and just being authentic.
Yeah.
Like where it's not just we're making music and we want millions of dollars. Like we want to change the world.
Yeah, we want
to. It's gonna reflect.
We want to be able to be like,
okay,
they let Slay Squad be the head designer of this clothing brand for a month. We want Virgil. We don't want just normal shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't want to just like, we're just going on tour and we're just doing our thing. We want like, okay, Louis Vuitton said that we get to design the next line.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
We don't want. We're dropping Sprite's first heavy commercial. You feel me?
We want Super Bowl performance.
You feel me? Like
these are the bridges we're trying to go. We want Grammys
because all these things exist at the same time in the human psyche. Everybody's listening to everything. Everybody has a feeling and an understanding of all these different genres. We're trying to make sure that bridge is not only that gap is bridged between the genres, but the cultures. I don't want this sport to be seen as a white boy sport. To keep it a buck, it's too many black and brown people that I see within this community
that give that support.
You feel me? That actually make this scene what it is. That actually make this music what it is. That make the sound. That make the feeling. That make the mosh culture. That make the way you look and dress and all these things. I see all these impacts on the culture, but it's seen as a white boy sport. And no disrespect, you feel me? I'm just talking about how life is existing.
Yeah, we want to pull up. We want to pull up dummy clean. Like we're not gonna like. we're gonna pull up clean. Like we're gonna do this shit correct. Real shit. Like we're gonna pull up clean. Like we'll be performing hardcore, but we're wearing fucking Rick Owens. Like real shit. Like we're gonna go up. Like this isn't just like we're taking what we've seen and admired and then pushing it forward, which we all should be fucking doing.
Absolutely.
Like don't look at the legends and go, I just want to do that. Like okay, do what they're doing
and take it next
even
level.
more, and even more. Which we want our kids to do that. We want the younger generation to do that. So, if we have anything to do with it, that's what the fuck we're doing. Like real shit. Like we're gonna like
Facts.
We're trying to push this shit to the max. Not like we're trying to go like, damn, okay, like you could be doing hardcore, but you could be
icy,
literally like
first hardcore band to win a Grammy. Like what?
Yeah,
you could be living well.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing some of the rates that bands are accepting for live performances. I'm seeing people work harder, not smarter.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see the game mesh. It kind of be more of a mix, a blend.
Make this why not make hardcore just as prominent as hip hop? Like hip hop, you see fucking the legends are better than the bottom tier of the hip hop, but the bottom tier of the hip hop is getting
bands.
Millions.
Yeah, and they're less talented.
They're less talented.
Less work, less what you got to do when you pull up to a show.
Yeah.
We still unloading all
they're
shit.
They're for some reason more appreciated. They're for some reason more appreciated, but yet they're not like, they're not playing instruments. They're not learning. They're not.
They don't even know music.
It's because of popularity and it's because like the hype behind it all.
I don't even know the basics.
When you look at that culture, you understand like, oh, that's the type of money they get in. Like it's not a question. It's not nothing like that. So it's like, I want to bridge that. Bridge the existence of both things and shit by just us being in both. You feel me? Like
we're here to make this.
To
we're here to literally help and fucking boost this shit to where it's like, damn, this shit is like some shit. And that comes with what it comes with. There's going to be a lot of motherfuckers we're looking at like, oh, they're in this shit now. But that's better than fucking this like quiet cave of like, this is just the little culture. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, let's make this shit fucking big. Let's take this shit to the fucking next level. Like real shit. So
damn, low key, I felt like we've been talking a lot. What are some of the questions that you have for us?
No, dude.
Tequila talking.
No. It's just coming up naturally.
I know you got some questions.
No. It's all coming up naturally. And you guys are doing what I wish more bands would do. That they just hold so much fucking power with labels, and they think they're going to sign something that's going to change their lives. Yeah. It's like you guys already done. How many full U.S. tours have you guys already done?
We've technically done one, but we've also, again, on our own, we go to Japan. We go to Japan every year and do shows.
That's insane.
Sometimes twice a year. We stay for a month. Like we
stay for a month,
and shit,
record
really
music.
With the system.
Yeah, we shoot videos. We do everything out there, and no label is giving us the bread.
That's just us figuring it
out.
out.
We got to do to take care of our shit. Make sure everything at home is taken care of while we away. And then we go over there for a month, really be in the system, not on no tourist shit, not trying to be on no weird shit, like actually getting with the system, letting it be known what we do, and bettering ourselves like that over there, like kind of. And as we have begun now in these recent times, like getting on our first big tours and shit like that, I'm realizing it's the same game. You know
literally,
it's just the same thing. It's like being yourself again, which is a foundation, the root of it all, but also like keeping that in front mind as you're also integrating with others and understanding other people and the way that they're functioning is around this, not only this country, this world, different genres, different walks of life and shit. Like it's, I really fuck with the things that Japan has taught us on like how to move as people.
Life-changing.
It taught me like
opens your eyes.
If we could, and it also has taught me some of the natural character that has been developed by coming from Rialto. Dead ass. I don't know many people that have been able to actually fluctuate and exist how my close peers have been able to exist and shit. I've watched it in real time. Maybe because I haven't been able to watch everybody else shit in real time, but real life, I have like the foundationary experience with motherfuckers to know that something about existing in Rialto, coming from Rialto, being a part of that true organic blend of it all is really special, and it really creates a powerful like pocket of tools to be able to maneuver in all these other places. It's like shit. And I ain't scared. I ain't nervous. I don't feel weird about it at all. I'm a real person. I'm really on this earth, and I know everybody else on this earth is on here too. So, and when we go to so far on the other side, like Japan and shit, like, it made me want to go to like everywhere else because I ain't never even been on a plane before. My first time going to Japan, I never even been on the airplane. That was my first flight. Wow. And that type of shit was like going over there, experiencing all that type of shit. It was like, man, like. We good, you know what I mean? You get that type of understanding as you go through like different experiences in life. But once it happened over there, and once we began to develop relationships and friendships and familiarity with the people and just the loved ones that we do have up over there and shit like that, it made me realize like, yeah, nigga, like we pretty much good, and it's pretty much the smartest way to approach all things, which just being yourself, kind of like we said.
And it really opens your eyes. Like I know people from Rialto who like they haven't even been to LA. Like they just don't leave the block. They just like not familiar with that, dude. It's and that's not even just Rialto. That's like a lot of people. And like I just don't want to be one of those people. And like going to a place like Japan, like realizing like everybody. The thing about Japan, like not even just Japan, like anywhere in the world, going to a different country that's not the U.S. is like when you're in a place like Japan, everybody's Japanese. So even though they're all different from each other, they're still the same culture. They still have like the same like. Something about them is like the same, and like that familiarity and like just seeing that from different lenses of the world like really expands your mind and helps you like grow as a person.
It sounded like going to Japan really like changed your guys' lives and gave you like a fucking like perspective and in a weird way, like you guys went out there on your own dime and did it in your own. You did it your own way, and then you came back like. Oh shit, we don't gotta sign to a fucking label.
We don't gotta go by nobody's rules. We don't gotta go by no scenes rules. We don't gotta go by nobody's politicking or none of that shit like that. Like can't nobody tell us how to be moving and shit because we did exactly what we wanted to do fine.
You come back and then you come back. Well, one of the main things, you come back and you go
look around.
You look around and you go, okay, well, clubs are trash out here, already off rip.
Hospitality is
when
trash.
we go to Japan, they're playing our music in One Oak. One Oak in the U.S., bro. I don't even know the
if it ain't
the
on
process
the top 20 Billboard
to be able to even get your music played in One Oak. That's in Vegas. We already know they're not playing nothing that sounds like what we do creatively.
Yeah.
They're very open to like accepting people who are different than them.
They're not tripping on you.
We go over there, they're
on
letting
the
us
scene.
stand on the table. We do whatever the fuck we want. You know what I mean? Like they really show a lot of love, and doing that move, we the first time, like it's not like we went out there and then we were like, let's just go for a week. The first time we said, let's just go out there for a month. At the time, the first time we went, did we have enough money? Fuck no. We went out there. We went out there fucking broke as shit.
I went there twice in 1 year hustling. I had no job.
Like literally at this point in my life, I've been there like 11 times, and each time like a month each.
That's the thing too. Him and the homie Leo, shout out Knowledge Fountain. Like them going over there and like kind of setting a flow, setting a foundation is what kept us from going over there and being on some like tourist shit or being on some like just typical type shit. We was able to tap into the underground and tap into the actual culture of the youth in Japan because of them going over there and setting the tone and letting us know how to fucking move and how not to waste our time.
Like after like the high school music band stuff, like everybody in high school joins a band and stuff. Like I became a designer. My brand LA Tokyo was like a way to get me from LA to Tokyo, and then I did that. And then I told them like, let's just all go. Like we need to experience it, and we kept doing it, and we really like understood that there's more to the world than just like what we're used to. Because over here, like everybody just feels so entitled to their way.
I definitely suggest everybody travels. Like if you're an artist, you have to travel because you feel it a little bit when you get out of Cali or whatever state you're in. You go like, okay, there's other shit going on. Like you are, it humbles you a lot. Like you're like, especially when you go out of the U.S. I think that's when you really get humbled because you're like,
it's crazy.
You're like, yeah, you ain't shit. Which is good to hear sometimes. Like,
it is.
It's really good to fucking hear. Bro, you ain't shit. There's a lot of shit going on. This shit is clockwork. This shit is moving.
It's like imagine going to a food court and like you just go to the same burger spot every time. Like so many other different foods. Like taste that shit. Like
try some other shit. And that shit was amazing. And that's even what builds the confidence that we have now. Like Japan is a huge huge. Reason why we feel the way that we feel.
For real, shout out to Fuji and Seeing Better Days and
Yataro,
Jimmy.
Shout out to our Japan.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Can't wait
it's
to
real
see
love.
y'all.
It's like the same how we was talking about Boo and all them earlier. Like when we feel that familial energy from people, we like hold that shit like near and dear. It's like not a game to us and shit.
You've toured out there before, right?
Yes. It's
How was that for you?
Incredible place. Yeah, I think we've only been there once. So you guys actually been there more than us. It's quick, dude. That's life. You know, it's cool. It's cool to see that. But it's a special place, man.
We should go out there together sometime.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
They
Crazy.
love y'all out there. Like
Yeah.
the homies that we're shouting out, like bro, they're literally like obsessed.
Like you go to the vintage shops, you see the Winds of Plague shirts, the Suicide Silence
For like
shirts.
for like $150, $300.
Yeah.
Where's my cut?
More than what you guys are selling them for. Like real shit, bro. It's like,
Damn, I'm here
eating shit.
eating ramen and shit. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Come on, baby.
For real though.
that's some real shit.
Oh yeah, dude. I told you guys at Chain Reaction. I told you guys outside. Whenever I see you guys, or I'm even talking to more guys, like I want to tour with you guys.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's and it kind of ties in to like, you know, I see these bands so like, and artists so like overly attached to like this label thing, or like, oh, it's gonna change me.
Everybody's like that.
It's so fucking nuts, dude.
I'm telling
it's
you,
like, yo, drop your fucking video and song now.
Yeah.
Why waiting 4 months, dude? What the fuck you doing?
A lot of people think that the label shit, like some of us in this are like, we're very business savvy. Like I love business. Like I do not run away from business.
Same.
Like, I love business. So when you really understand it, you're like, bro, you almost better off just going to the bank and getting a loan at that point. Like if you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing, why are you putting it in somebody else's hands? Now, if somebody is saying we could put you here, or we could do that, this, that, or the other, that's a whole different story. But a lot of people, I don't want to be able to, if I could fully see what the fuck the path is, I don't even want that shit. I want you not even to be able to see this shit. The person that's investing into us.
Oh, wow.
I want you to be like, this is almost unimaginable. Like, I don't even fucking know where, like, I know where, of course, I have a path, but, like, the sky's the limit. And a lot of labels come at you. It's not sky's the limit. It's input you in the same plan that we input
We did
everybody.
this 100 times. This
So
works.
we just going to do what we do to everybody. And it's like, I
We're a
can
special
confidently
case.
say that we are not everybody.
Yeah,
like
we are a special case for sure. We're one of a kind.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure.
not everybody, so you can't implement same way you can't add a vocal chain. The same way with music, you can't just add the same vocal chain to everybody and it just sounds good. It's like, bro, like dig into
Put some
us.
care into this shit.
Yeah.
As much as we care.
Yeah, you guys you're on the same road. You know, again, we're similar in the fact that, you know, SS was a 1-on-1. So when you're 1-on-1, you just know it. And and you guys are a 1-on-1. You know, it's a special time. And you guys not to be desperate and to just be dropping songs on your own. I just wish I saw more bands do that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, drop the song and then you'll hear like, oh well, we're shooting out the labels right now. I'm like,
why?
What? I mean, I get it, but drop the song first, and then when the deal comes, and you like it, cool, and then like just drop the fucking song, dude.
Yeah, just do your shit because like even like it's been on my mind a lot. Like that artist Russ, everybody clowns him, everybody be clowning him, but he says the shit that we're talking about, and it's all fun and games. It's funny to clown and shit like that, but like you have somebody in the game. Recording himself, doing all his own stuff, mixing himself, you get to call the shots.
Yes.
I'm interested in being in a position where we call the shots. Right now, we call the shots. That's how I would like to remain. You know, that's how you end up with a catalog of stuff when you're looking, you go, something about it is a little bit off. The vision seems like it's changed. Mm-hmm. Like,
Kind of like what you said earlier, like something's missing from
Something's
how your
missing,
initial sound was and how you was when we first gravitated towards you as an artist. Like something changed, something adjusted, something got weird with your creative processing or whatever the fuck going on. You know what I mean? Like we trying to avoid that by all means.
Great. I mean, people know, like they're fans are smart, dude. They'll like it's like they fucking smell it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they know when it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're talking like any form of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
you can tell when people try to start leaning towards more of the commercial route or trying to make a hit or trying to make whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like we trying to make sure that we keep that gap bridged by staying authentic and keeping it as heavy as we want it to be. Fuck what somebody trying to tell us to be. You feel me?
Yeah. No, totally. And it's a special time now because heavy music is like I definitely couldn't have predicted this shit. Like it's like, oh wow, like there's a lot of people listening to heavy shit right now.
Yeah.
Nah, I listen to what fucking Ricky and the homie from Left to Suffer was saying. Like, bro, like it is a resurgence of this shit.
Yes.
Like, I will be able to. I can honestly say throughout I can't say the specific years, but let's say maybe for a rough estimate, maybe like 2013, 14 through like maybe even 1920, where it was kind of like in a weird limbo of like. Fucking like just weird existence, you know what I mean? As far as like it's like popularity and people understanding it. But right now it kind of has like a double impact of the old school feeling of like, oh, it's well, I notice it mostly in the SoCal and like the people on social media who I'm around right now.
Right,
like
we're going
like it's like I'm thinking like
right.
like them is them shows that everybody was going to back in the days or like that's that shit that my big brother or my big homie or fucking. You know what I mean? Like it's been existing back in those days, and it's becoming that rebubbling, and so just getting more venues, getting more places to play shows and shit out here in SoCal, and it's also mixed with the online social media.
The internet,
Lorna Shore, Left to Suffer, Angel Maker, fucking of Sulfur, like us. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I love what like Turnstile did. Like,
it's like
bro,
that type of shit. Turnstile
like
specifically, aside from everybody else talking about.
That's what the fuck
Special.
motherfuckers is talking about, bro. Like, look at what they're doing. Like, they're literally taking it to like a whole nother level.
And even like Knock Loose, you know what I mean? With what they was able to do with the marketing of their last big album, with it being in Target and like shit like that.
Pop.
That's the shit I'm talking about. Like, I want this sound. I want a chug. I want a breakdown to be digestible to the common person, especially within the Black community. I can't wait for the day a breakdown is translated to be able to be recognizable to like not just the alternative or the fringe.
Another big contribution to that I would say is like somebody like XXXTentacion.
Perfect.
Like him with the internet, what it is today, and somebody like him who like kind of grew up like us, but he's even younger and able to share what he was listening to and like what he's knowledgeable of through the internet, and having like other people again relate to art by just being yourself, and him listening to heavy stuff, him listening to having knowledge of rock but also rap, and putting that out as just like super authentic, where he could drop like a super heavy album or super
like soft
or acoustic.
And the Reigns, like we're really tied with people that worked on his deal specifically. And like every time we have those convos, like the ball was in his court. Like if a lot of people don't know about X, he got a deal and they offered him a deal. They had put out all this contract, all this paperwork, and he had so much confidence in what he was able to do and so much leverage. He said, if we're doing a contract, I'm writing it. A lot of people don't know this about X. He wrote his own contract. His way, literally his handwriting, and had them motherfuckers sign. You're signing my contract.
Oh my god!
Which is like, bro,
that's what we're talking
that's
about.
Like our mind
leverage
is like,
and
that's
real
amazing.
Understanding of
like,
the product. We're not no game. We're not no gimmick. We're not some fluke. We're not some like one-off type business. Like this is something serious, and we are cognizant of what we deserve and what we are. That type of shit.
Like imagine you get to write they give you the paperwork and you're like, you guys did too much. This is what it is. And then that label goes, okay. They just do
That's
it.
the leverage we're talking about. We're not trying to play the game. We're not trying to play the game on the rules based on somebody else. We are literally trying to make sure that this shit is given what it deserves. And with situations like what we're being offered, it's like, y'all ain't even seen what we can do for real. to keep it a buck.
Facts.
Yeah.
Between, I'm talking from Mongo to Beam.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all ain't seen
Beam was
nothing.
the first. Beam was just us in the laboratory mixing potion, and it's like, wow, it was purple and it did this cloud. And everybody's going, wow. But bro, at the end of the day, that was the first time we mixed it that way. We still got to mix it that way and grab the orange beaker with that fluid and mix that. We ain't even did that shit. Like, this is still the beginning.
Yeah, we're not affected by time. We're
Yeah.
not really like affected by like the glamour of fucking a name and all that little cute shit. Like, we really get it out the mud. So we gonna continue to do that until somebody give us a reason not to. You know what I mean?
Totally. So if you're hearing you're from a label, you better come with some right shit, dude.
Come correct.
Yeah, we ain't playing with y'all.
Yep,
Don't
totally.
play with us. You heard?
Yeah.
Well, I know we definitely covered a lot, and I fucking love you guys. I love what you guys are doing. I hope in our future, in our near future, we could do a tour together.
Yeah.
But honestly, you guys don't even need us. You guys are gonna fucking do some fucking cool shit. And anything else that we haven't touched yet? I think.
I mean, yeah, like shit. I mean, I feel like we like took all your questions and like expanded on them like so
Do
fucking
you have
awesome,
anything?
crazy.
Do you have anything?
You guys covered everything.
What else do you have?
Yeah.
Like, talk, you know?
No, you guys fucking really. It's what actually this actually hit me right now. So, it's I'm older.
Yeah.
I'm 36, and I will admittedly say that I'm jaded. Some members of my band are jaded. It just happens when you've been doing it for like so long.
Yeah.
And to hear a band come from the Inland Empire and just hit me over the face, it's just like I'm just still in awe by it, and I'm still in shock. Wait, they're from the Inland Empire? What? Yeah. I know you guys are more based out of downtown LA.
Well, no, we're actually more based in the Inland Empire.
Yeah,
we've been living in LA for a year. Like, we just did that because we realized it's the competition, right? It's like you have to. You could ball in the G League and you're balling everybody up. Like, we would be in the IE. Shout out to like Bow. Shout out to them boys, but really, other than them, it was like
shit. It's not no challenge. It ain't no weird. It ain't nothing for us to feel like we're excelling or progressing by being involved.
Yeah, it's easy to be there. Like when we're in the IE, we're just like, yeah, where the shit, 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 where the shit. You just keep over and over, but then you're like, then you get to the big market. I remember the first time I pulled it to my apartment in LA after we got it, and I just remember being like, it was so humbling, like. You're starting from ground zero again. If anything, it made me wish I did it earlier.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's again, like, I don't know, like imagine you're at a job and it's in the cut, no one really knows about it, and you're the shit in that building. But like realistically, when you get into other things, it's like you actually have a lot to learn, and it makes you like makes you level up, and that's what I appreciate the most about LA. Like coming over here, and then I remember just thinking again, like we talked about it outside, but I remember just thinking like, man, we go so in da 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 da. Then you meet some of these people, and you're like, bro is recording all day. Like we're not really like drug on. Like we're not on drugs. Like we already did that shit, right? So you have these people in LA, they're on coke all day, and that's a whole separate idea, separate convo. But they're working, and they're recording nonstop. So when you're living where you're living, and you're taking your little trip to LA to like, oh, I'm gonna go out here and put in some work. And come home to the IE, and then
they're there all the time.
Chill.
Right.
They're there 24/7. When you're sleeping, they're not.
Yeah, we know people up till 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning.
Like even going back to like something like Japan. Like you go to Japan and be like, "Oh, I'm from Rialto." They're like, "What?" Like, but if we can prove ourselves in a place like LA, and we're like, "Oh, like we're doing this in LA," it says a lot more. It's not ideal for like our ideology.
Yeah, we
but
love
like,
to just like be in the toe and just like we just.
But toe. It is what it is.
But bro,
it's
it
true.
is what it is. It's like again, like G League, NBA, like
facts. That's literally the best.
It's literally
comparison.
what it is. It's like you could be in the G League and you're like, I just scored 30, da da da. But when's the last time you watched a G League game?
Go to the NBA and see if you still score that same 30.
You know what I mean? And can you score that bro, that's a major point. It's like, can you score that in the bigger leagues? And that's something like me personally, I always have that mindset of just like more, like I want to go more in. So it is good to be able to like, bro, we've only been out here for a year, so it's like we still have a lot more to do, but it's like it's good to be able to like, okay, we could compete here.
Yeah, the treadway we've been able to make within this short amount of time is definitely like, you know what I mean?
It says a lot.
Especially from where we come from, like, yeah, it definitely says a lot. And, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a mindset of having like a progression, like kind of like how you explain, like you don't want to get too dormant, like you're not going to really like make any, it's like preaching to the choir, you know what I mean? Like how you going to, you know what I mean, make any change doing the same shit to the same people who are familiar with what you got going on.
How was
It's
it
like
for you
challenge
and
your
like
shit.
Suicide Silence coming from the IE and like
Yeah,
proving
because I was
yourself?
surprised like how you're saying when
'Cause
you
you guys are,
said
like,
you're
one of
from
the-
Corona, I was like, wait, what?
You guys are like one of the biggest bands in the world. Like, how was it for you guys coming from the IE and like accomplishing that?
You're definitely proud that, you know, it's weird that when you're like a young kid, like, and your character and your being authentic is tested from either friends or family, or like, hey, you should try this, you should do this, or, you know, or like, or, you know, I mean, it sounds cool, but you probably shouldn't combine like blast beats and breakdowns. It's probably not going to work. But these people are your family and your friends. They think they're telling you what's going to work.
Yeah.
But we, similar to you guys, actually, like this, we believed in this shit since day one, since 2002, believed in it. And we're the same band now than, I'm doing the same shit now that I did when I was a little kid, in 2002, little kid. Just, I believe in what we're doing. And again, similar to you guys, you played these shows in Rialto and Corona and Redlands, and then you branch out to Anaheim and Orange County, then you're LA, then you're playing the whiskey, and it was that you and then you repeatedly every fucking time you just stick out.
Yeah.
You stick out. There's bands that might be better than you, but
They ain't got that soul. They ain't got that core.
Honestly, bro, there's a lot of bands, if we're going by technicality, what you know
bass
how to
players
do,
don't even play bass for
it's
a
not
year.
hard to be better than us.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like we're at this shit every day. Like there's some people that like we're talking about mixing the potion. They got their potion. But the difference is like we kept making potions.
Yeah.
Like after that explosion, after we mixed that, we said, okay, let's make another explosion. Let's do this. Let's do that.
You have
like,
your own.
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
a lot of people are better than us at a lot of shit, honestly.
Totally. Actually,
That's it.
yeah.
Like instrumentation and like, bro, that's just a lot of shit, bro. Honestly, people are a lot better. Like when we went on that tour with Born of Osiris,
Yeah, we learned a
I
lot.
was like, not only are they better, they got better gear. They got
Came back and
better,
bought more shit.
The way this shit is functioning, the order of operations.
A lot
all
of
that.
people are technically, bro, they're better than us, like on some real shit.
But we pay attention to all those types of things. So it's like, shit, it's only a matter of time that we're going to be able to keep saying that.
We don't take that shit lightly. Like we come home and adjust immediately.
'Cause we don't like
Literally,
that.
as soon as we got back from tour, immediately adjusted.
Y'all shit ain't cool to us. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
it's
because
just
of
more
them.
to it than just talent too. Like I saw something this morning. It was like a meme, not a meme, but like a video like this, like chubby, like Hispanic dude singing. He sounded just like Michael Jackson.
Oh wow.
And
That
he
nigga was
sounded
on
just
point.
like Michael Jackson.
I love Michael Jackson too, so that nigga was on point.
And it was just like, that's dope as fuck, but you're still not, like, you don't have all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I saw
like-
some of Michael Jackson's like sketchbooks for his outfits and things like that.
Oh,
like,
damn.
That nigga really like shit. I can't say if it was a product of his own work ethic or what Joe Jackson did to them motherfuckers, but I'm gonna say the ethic and what the fuck went into the mental processing behind what he was doing was not a game.
Yeah.
It's attention to
it was
detail.
serious.
Every detail isn't just like left to somebody else or overlooked. Like he's literally looking through everything.
Every step
Everything.
of it.
Yeah, and there's just,
Everything.
again, there's just so much more to it. Like you could walk down like, where's the beach? Venice, and like see people who paint amazing, but like at the end of the day, they're still painting on the beach, selling their paintings for like $20. Like
Yeah.
there's more
someone that's
to
like
it
probably straight at painting, bro, and their shit's in the museum.
because
I've seen
there's
it. $300,000
Same thing. You see
paintings.
niggas flipping on Venice and shit. You know what I'm saying? They doing their flips and shit for coins in the bucket. Whereas niggas in Cirque du Soleil doing their shit.
Shout out to that one dude that's always skateboarding and fucking on the guitar. He's so sick at guitar.
You know, and I can't knock that either because it's like chasing a
you don't
bag
knock it.
and having a certain type of like perspective success is also a weird game to play as well. It's like shit. It's really up to you as a human and shit. You know what I'm saying? You could be smoking crack in the tent and be content because you ain't got to pay bills, and you could be happily doing your shit as you want to as a human. Ain't nobody else's perspective
Don't
to judge.
smoke crack.
You feel me? Like, I ain't gonna tell you to smoke crack, but shit, if the universe tell you to, shit, nigga, follow your gut, trust yourself.
Don't.
You feel me?
I'm gonna say it again. Don't smoke
I
crack.
feel you though, bro. Like, yeah,
Nah, for real, because it's like
strokes
it's
for
different people who
folks,
tell you
man.
to chase the bag, chase a hit, chase your core audience, chase what you want to do as an artist creatively, chase how you want to, all that type of shit. Or you could play ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's different types of ways that you want to like approach the game of life and shit. And whether it be creatively, whether it be to get your money and take care of your loved ones, whether it be to take care of yourself and your peace of mind and shit. It's like I'm trying to like make sure that bridge of that understanding is fucking completely bridged. You know what I mean? Like, can't nobody tell you how to live your life and shit. If you want to do some shit that feel right to you, do your motherfucking shit. Black, brown, white, yellow, whatever the fuck. You feel me? We just be out here trying to figure it out. Don't nobody got it figured out. And as I've gotten older, everybody who act like they got it figured out got lucky.
Oh yeah,
So shit,
Facts,
it's
bro,
part of the game.
facts.
Like, you got
Or
lucky.
they look like they haven't figured out, but they really don't.
really
You,
don't.
feel me? You look at them and you like, shit, I got X, Y, and Z better in line than your ass do. You feel me? So let me capitalize on that. Let me keep trying. You know, I'm just you know what I'm saying? Do your shit, pick your shit how you want your operation to go on, but just try to like keep yourself in line. You feel me? Like don't try to think that somebody else's way of life is going to work for you, because you could do that shit for 10, 20, 30 years. A lot of our parents, a lot of our elders been working in the workforce for fucking all these decades and shit, and they're like, I could retire now. I hate doing that shit the whole motherfucking time, but I was telling you to get a job. You know what I mean? It's like very interesting way that the game is played out and shit, and that's kind of the young God mentality. Like, you are in control of your experience. You control your standards. You control what feel good for you. Stay aware of that, whether that be getting money, whether that be being however the fuck you want to be. Just be cognizant of that and don't let nobody else be the god of that. Because I promise you, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years, you're going to be regretful of letting somebody else be the god of your game. 100%.
Dude, we're gonna write our own fucking record contract, dude. That's sick. Well, dude, for real, dudes, I am so honored that all you guys came here. I mean, I've been a fan of your band for quite a bit now. It's been really cool.
Likewise.
Crazy.
For real. Like you said,
This is
like,
pretty
you know,
crazy.
it's a major honor for us. Like we kept saying, it's real full circle shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is serious. It's like the young version of me is like doing backflips and is moshing, and you know what I'm saying, on niggas like in my mental right now. Like, what the fuck, nigga? Like, this ain't no game. Y'all see what the fuck is going on. Y'all see where we came from. A lot of motherfuckers have watched us every step of this way, figuring it out. So it's like, this is real life. This is really what happened when you really stick to the plan and do what you're supposed to, not what somebody told you're supposed to do. You feel me?
Yep.
Facts.
Well, what's coming up next? Shows, singles.
We have some
dropping?
shows. We have a couple shows with NASCAR, Aloe, and Death Proof. Shout out Death Proof. We have a show with Sim coming up.
Yeah, SIM. They made the intro to that last Attack on Titan season. I don't know about all my
That one
anime
sold
heads
out,
out there,
though.
but it's completely
It's
already sold out.
And
So
it's
I'm telling
only
y'all,
us
but
and
y'all
them.
can't buy it.
That's
It's
what's
just
so cool.
real
It's
exposure.
only just us and them.
Wow.
Us and Sim. Which
It's
is
their
really
first
dope.
time in LA for sure. They just got big over the past like 6 months because of that last
Because
season
of
of Attack on Titan. They won some awards because of that shit.
Yeah. August 12th, Pomona. September 15th, Los Angeles.
August 9th is the Sim show at the Echoplex. August 12th will be the Glass House in Pomona with NASCAR Arlo and all the Death Proof homies.
September 15th.
September 15th,
Los
15th
Angeles.
will be Los Angeles at the Echoplex with NASCAR and again all the Death Proof homies. That's on the fucking. It's not American Western. What is it? United We Fall. It's the United We Fall tour with NASCAR and all the homies. And again, shout out to them because it's like they played a huge instrument on our integration to LA and keeping the scene prominent while COVID was telling us not to go outside. You feel me? Like 4815, Death Proof, all the homies. That is really like a part of the true underground out there. It really that shit was what kept the scene alive while people was telling you needed to stay inside.
We got to do shows when
And
shit was closed.
And go figure, like the a lot of the Miyagi, shout out Miyagi, like he's IE based.
He from
So
the
making
SB,
it making the connection. I remember when I first met him, it was just like, oh, you an IE nigga? It was like, bro, it's a rap. It was like, say less.
Yeah, that's the
Say
organic shit we
less.
talking about. Me and that
It
nigga
was-
played dice our first time meeting each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of like real integration of like real recognizing real and us understanding that the world ain't gonna be shit without this real representation. You feel me? A lot of people gonna just play the game. We ain't here to really play the game. We're here to change the game. 100%, 111%.
111%.
Yeah.
Definitely have more singles dropping very soon.
And we have
hopefully.
a show with Show Me the Body as well. We're on this festival.
Yeah,
That's going to be with
Nothing
Show Me
Fest.
the Body, Nothing Fest.
It's gonna be with a plethora of bands, but like Show Me the Body is
Show
on
Me
that
the
too.
Body.
Hopefully,
Fuck
like
with
next
heavy.
year, we get to go on tour with you or
You
something.
feel me?
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it
Hopefully
out for
this
sure.
year, shit. Let's
I
go
will.
on tour ASAP.
Yeah, I will not be surprised. Show's fucking badass. Social media?
Social
At
media.
Slay Squad on Instagram. Is it?
It's at Slay Squad one. Is it 111? It's just Slay
No,
Squad.
it's Slay Squad Twitter.
At Slay
Yeah.
Squad, Slay Squad 111 on Twitter, and then
Slay Squad on all major platforms, Shopify. all that.
Slaysquad.com or Slay111.com.
111,
You know what I'm saying? I got all our merch and all our tour dates and all this
Awesome
shit like that.
fucking
Links to our
merch.
social media. You feel me?
And if you want to support us, buy our merch.
You feel me?
Because we're all in house and nobody takes any percentages of our merch. And then on top of that, we're going to be dropping this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to
what
drop
does that
this.
say?
This is
Ghetto
ghetto
metal.
metal.
Okay,
Ghetto
that's
metal
what's
is
up.
That's our genre. That's what we are.
we fucking created. Like we're
what's
creating
up.
our own genre. So yeah.
Slay.
Everyone watching, listening, thank you. Slay Squad, heaviest podcast of all time. See you later.
Wow.